If you're over 60, I want you to listen very closely. Your body might be aging, but it is not finished. It's not even close. All across the world, in quiet neighborhoods of Japan, you'll find men and women in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s, still walking with remarkable ease. They can bend down without fear. They can rise from the floor without holding their breath. They move through their day calmly, confidently, and without rushing their bodies. And here's the really surprising part. They are not doing extreme workouts. They are not pushing through pain or trying to act young. Instead, they rely on a few simple daily movements. These movements are so gentle they almost look too easy, yet they are powerful enough to protect strength, balance, and independence for decades. Now, let's compare that to what many adults over 60 experience today. Maybe it's stiff joints in the morning or a growing fear of falling. Perhaps you find yourself getting tired much faster than you used to. You might be avoiding stairs or avoiding getting on the floor altogether. Little by little, your world of movement shrinks. And when movement shrinks, your confidence follows right behind it. But this isn't because you're weak. It's not because you failed to exercise enough in the past. And it is not just old age. No matter how many times you've been told that, what's really happening is much quieter. Modern life slowly trains our bodies to sit, to lean, and to brace for support. Chairs do the work our legs once did. Handrails replace our natural balance. Soft, comfortable furniture replaces our natural posture. Over time, the muscles that are meant to protect your joints stop getting those daily reminders to stay awake. Your balance reactions slow down, and simple, everyday movements start to feel risky. And so many well-meaning seniors make the exact same mistake. They stop moving in the ways that feel uncertain. They avoid bending, they avoid twisting, they avoid getting down low to the ground. Unfortunately, that avoidance teaches the body exactly the wrong lesson. Japanese elders approach aging with a completely different mindset. They don't chase intensity, they protect movement. They weave small natural motions into their everyday life. These are movements that gently remind the body how to stand, how to step, how to stabilize itself, and how to recover its balance. There are no gym memberships required, no loud music, and no complicated routines to memorize. Just simple daily habits that quietly support your joints, circulation, posture, and confidence. And science has been paying close attention. Not to some miracle cure, but to the power of consistency, to balance, to low-impact movement that's repeated every single day. The good news is, these movements are not reserved for people who just aged well. They are not cultural secrets locked away behind language or geography. They are simple, they are adaptable, and you can start them at any age, even if you feel stiff, cautious, or out of shape right now. In just a moment, I'm going to explain exactly why most common exercise advice fails adults over 60. And why these Japanese-inspired daily movements succeed where other methods quietly let you down. Because once you understand that key difference, you'll start to see aging and your own body very differently. And that, right there, is where everything begins. Have you ever noticed that most health and fitness advice seems designed for someone else? For younger joints, faster recovery, and a body that can handle a lot more strain? If you're over 60 and have ever felt discouraged trying to do the right thing, you are not alone. Maybe you joined a class that moved way too fast. Or you tried an online workout that assumed you had perfect knees and strong wrists. You pushed through the soreness, thinking that discomfort was just part of the deal. But instead of feeling stronger, you just felt more cautious. Here's the quiet truth. After 60, your body responds far better to frequency than it does to force. It thrives on consistency, not intensity. It craves movements that feel safe enough to repeat every single day. Japanese elders understand this on a deep level. Their entire approach isn't about exercising harder. It's about moving more naturally. They focus on protecting the movements that daily life truly depends on. Standing up from a chair, sitting back down, turning your head to look behind you, reaching for something on a high shelf, stepping and stabilizing your balance. These actions might seem small, but they are the absolute foundation of our independence. One of the biggest mistakes many seniors make is separating exercise from real life. They think movement only counts if it's a formal, scheduled, sweaty session. So if they miss their daily walk or skip a class, they feel like the whole day is a loss. But Japanese elders see it differently. They see movement as something woven into the fabric of the day, short, gentle, and frequent. Another common mistake is avoiding movements that feel a bit awkward or uncertain, especially things like bending, rotating, or getting closer to the floor. This avoidance is completely understandable. The fear of falling is real, and joint discomfort is definitely real. But here's the catch. Avoiding these motions altogether slowly reduces your body's ability to handle them safely. Your nervous system learns what you practice. If you never practice your balance starts to fade. If you never practice getting up from a low position, your confidence in doing so disappears. Japanese daily movements are designed to keep these essential skills alive without ever forcing them. There's also a big misunderstanding about pain. So many people believe that any discomfort means damage, so they stop at the very first unfamiliar sensation. But stiffness and a gentle challenge are not the same as an injury. Safe movement often feels a little unfamiliar at first, especially if it's a motion you've been avoiding for years. Japanese elders move slowly enough to really listen to their bodies. They stop before they feel any strain. They never rush through discomfort. Speed is replaced with control, and raw effort is replaced with mindful awareness. Another mistake is focusing only on the muscles while ignoring the joints. Strong muscles matter, of course, but our joints thrive on gentle motion, lubrication, and proper alignment. When your joints stop moving through their comfortable range, they get stiff. And that stiffness then limits how well your muscles can even activate. It becomes a frustrating cycle. Daily limb-packed movements are the key to breaking that cycle. Then there's the belief that decline is inevitable, that weakness, poor balance, and loss of mobility are just a normal part of aging. This belief quietly lowers our expectations, and when our expectations drop, our effort usually follows. In Japan, aging isn't seen as a countdown. It's seen as a phase of life that simply requires maintenance, not surrender. They don't ask, how hard should I push? They ask, what movements does my body need today? This simple shift in mindset removes all the pressure. And it's often that pressure that stops people from even starting in the first place. And one more issue: overloading the body all at once. You know, doing nothing for a few days and then trying to make up for it with one long, grueling session. For older bodies, this approach just increases soreness and the risk of injury. It teaches the body to associate movement with punishment. Japanese elders spread movement gently across the entire day, just a few minutes at a time, repeated often. This creates a sense of familiarity and confidence, instead of fear. The most important principle is this: your body adapts to what it does most often, not what it does most intensely. These small, daily movements send a steady, reassuring message to your joints, your muscles, and your nervous system. That message is, you are safe, you are capable, you are still in use. And that message, repeated day after day, matters more than any single workout ever could. In the next part, I'm going to walk you through some specific daily movements inspired by Japanese elders. Each one is simple, medically safe when done gently, and can be adjusted to your own comfort level. These aren't exercises to fix your body. They are habits to remind your body how it's designed to work. And once you learn them, you'll understand why they so quietly protect your strength, your balance, and your confidence every single day. These aren't workouts. They are daily habits. Each one supports a basic ability your body needs to stay independent. The ability to stand, to balance, to turn, reach, and recover. As we go through them, remember to move slowly and breathe naturally. Stop before you feel any discomfort. And it's always a good idea to have a chair or a wall nearby for support. Let's begin. First, the slow stand and sit. This is one of the most important movements of all. In Japan, elders practice standing up and sitting down with purpose. They're not rushing or just dropping into the chair. And here's why it matters. This simple action supports leg strength, balance, and builds confidence. It mirrors real-life situations far better than any gym machine ever could. Here's how to do it. Sit near the front edge of a sturdy chair. Your feet should be flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. You can rest your hands lightly on your thighs or on the chair arms. Now, lean forward slightly from your hips, press through your feet, and stand up slowly. Pause for a moment once you're standing, feeling steady. Then, just as slowly, lower yourself back down. Really control that descent. Try starting with 3 to 5 repetitions once or twice a day. The key tip here is that slower is always better. When you speed up, you lose control. Control is what builds confidence. Next up, Movement 2. Gentle heel. Two-toe balance steps. Balance is a skill, and like any skill, it can fade if you don't practice it. Many Japanese elders quietly train their balance every day without turning it into some big performance. This matters because good balance reactions are what help prevent falls. They also boost your confidence when you're walking. To do this, stand near a wall or a countertop. You can lightly touch it with one hand if you need to. Place one foot directly in front of the other so the heel of your front foot touches the toe of your back foot. Hold that position for a few seconds. Then take a slow step forward and switch your feet. Aim for about 5 to 10 small steps like this. If it feels too challenging, just widen your stance a little. If it feels easy, try pausing a bit longer between each step. Do this once or twice a day. Remember, there's no prize for making it difficult. Stability always comes first. Movement 3 is the daily spine turn while seated. Over time, many seniors stop rotating their spine. They start turning their entire body as one unit instead of just their torso. This really limits mobility and makes simple tasks like looking behind you much harder. Japanese elders make it a point to gently rotate their spine every day. This is important because good spinal movement supports your posture, your breathing, and your overall ease of motion. Here's how you do it. Sit upright in a chair with your feet flat on the floor. Place your hands lightly on your thighs. Now, slowly turn your upper body to the right, going only as far as feels comfortable. Pause, then return to the center. Repeat the same movement to the left. Try for 5 to 8 slow turns in each direction. The key is to keep the movement smooth. No forcing it and no bouncing. Let's move to our fourth movement, controlled forward bending with support. Many seniors start to avoid bending forward, but learning to bend safely keeps your hips back and legs working together in a coordinated way. Japanese elders practice this carefully. It's a vital movement that supports daily tasks like picking things up or even getting dressed. To do it, stand with your feet about hip width apart. Hold on to the back of a sturdy chair or a countertop for support. Now hinge forward slightly at the hips. Keep your back comfortable, not rounded. Go only as far as you feel safe, and then slowly return to a standing position. Aim for 3 to 6 gentle repetitions. The key tip is to think reach, not collapse. The entire movement should feel controlled and calm. Our fifth and final movement is the overhead reach with breath. Reaching overhead is something many of us quietly stop doing as we get older. Shoulders get stiff, and our posture starts to slump. Japanese elders maintain this overhead movement gently. This is so important because it supports shoulder comfort, good posture, and upper body coordination. You can do this sitting or standing tall. Slowly lift one arm overhead as your arm rises. Inhale gently. As it lowers, exhale, then switch arms. If both arms feel comfortable, you can try raising them together. Aim for about 5 slow reaches per arm. The key here is to keep your shoulders relaxed, no shrugging, and no strain. So, how do you use these movements? You don't need to do all 5 at once. Many Japanese elders spread them throughout the day. Maybe 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 in the evening. Even a few minutes counts. Consistency matters so much more than completion. If a movement feels uncomfortable, just reduce the range of motion. If you're having a low energy day, do fewer repetitions. The goal isn't perfection, it's familiarity. These movements quietly remind your body how all its parts can cooperate. They keep your joints nourished and your balance reactions awake. And perhaps most importantly, they help rebuild the trust between you and your body. In our next video, I'll explain why it is never too late to begin, how these small movements create big changes over time, and how you can stay motivated without pressure or fear. If you take nothing else from this, remember this one truth. Your body responds to what you do today, not what you failed to do years ago. Aging does not close the door on improvement. It simply changes the way progress looks. Think about Japanese elders. They don't chase dramatic overnight results. They trust quiet repetition. They understand that small movements done daily send a powerful message to the body. A message that says, you are still needed, you are still capable, you are still learning. That message matters at any age, but it's especially powerful for those of us over 60. Many seniors wait for the right time to start moving again. They wait until the pain is gone, or their energy improves, or their confidence returns. But here's the secret. Movement is often what creates those very changes. You don't need long, grueling sessions at a gym. You don't need expensive equipment, and you certainly don't need to push through fear or pain. What you need is safe movement that feels doable. Movement that fits into your real life right now. Some days you may feel strong and ready to do a little more. Other days you might feel slower, and that's okay. Both of those days count equally. Progress after 60 is rarely a big dramatic event. It's much more subtle. It shows up as a little less hesitation when you stand up, a bit more ease getting out of a chair. It's that calmer, more secure feeling you have when you walk across a room. At first, these changes are so small they're easy to miss. But they accumulate. They build on each other, day after day. One day, you'll suddenly realize you're standing a little taller. You're turning to look behind you more freely. You're trusting your footing again on uneven ground. That is how independence is preserved. Not with a bang, but quietly and patiently. If you've avoided movement because of fear, that's completely understandable. Fear is just your body's way of asking for reassurance, not for punishment. These small daily movements are designed to provide that exact reassurance. They are not tests you have to pass. Think of them as conversations with your body. You ask gently. Your body responds slowly, and over time, that dialogue gets clearer and stronger. You are not behind. You are not broken. And you are definitely not too old to benefit from movement. Start right where you are. Use a chair or a wall for support if you need it. Move slowly and mindfully. Even one single movement today is enough. If you found this helpful, I invite you to practice one simple, safe movement every day for a week. Just notice how your body responds. Notice how your confidence begins to shift, even just a little. And if you'd like more guidance like this calm, realistic, and designed specifically for adults over 60, please follow along and stay connected. Learning how to move safely is one of the most practical and powerful forms of self-care there is. Your body has carried you a long way. With a little daily attention, it can continue to carry you steadily, confidently, and with dignity. Thank you for spending this time with me.